In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make Kirkland's inspired decor on a budget. Hello everyone, if you guys are new, my name's Liz, and for today's video, I'm going to take some Kirkland's decor that I thought was just absolutely gorgeous, but I knew that I could make it on a budget, cheaper, instead of just going out and buying it. These are not pure dupes. Some of them are smaller than the originals, have a little bit of my own twist on them. So if you guys want to see some Kirkland inspired DIYs, then let's jump in. For this DIY, I found these candlesticks on Kirkland's website. It was a set of 3 for $89. I am going to try to recreate these. So I am going to grab some wooden candlesticks from Hobby Lobby. They come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. These are the ones that I purchased, along with this large one. And then I'm also going to take a couple different rounds. I have some of these bamboo lids from IKEA, as well as these rounds from Walmart. I'm going to start by assembling my candlesticks. So for the largest candlestick, it has this little metal piece inside it. I just took a flathead screwdriver and kind of popped that out. And then I'm going to use some hot glue and I'm going to attach 2 of my candlesticks together, the large one and the kind of short and chunkier candlestick. Now I'm just going to center this on my bamboo lid and mark it with a pen, add some hot glue, and attach my glue stick to the top of that lid. And then for the top portion of the candlestick, I'm going to do the same thing, mark it with a pen, try to get it centered as best as I can, and then add some hot glue and attach my candlestick to the wood round. And this is what it should look like once you are done assembling it. Now I'm going to move on to the second candlestick. I'm going to take one of the flat, chunkier candlesticks along with the short and kind of skinnier candlestick. I'm going to glue the top and the bottom of those together and then do the same thing where I center that on the bamboo lid as best as I can, mark it with a pen, and then use my hot glue to adhere the candlestick to the base. And then for this one, I'm also going to use a bamboo lid for the top. So I'm just going to add some hot glue and glue that to the bamboo lid. Now I'm going to take some Waverly chalk paint and ink, and I'm going to use this for both of my candlesticks, and I'm just going to go over the entire thing, give it a good coat of paint. I just did 1 coat for this DIY. The ink covers up pretty well, so I didn't feel like it needed any other coats. Now once the black paint is dried, I'm going to take a small brush and some Waverly white chalk paint, and I'm just going to drag my brush along any of the indents in the candles. I'm just going to do kind of a dry brushing where I dip my paintbrush in the paint and then wipe off a lot of that and then just drag it along all those indents on my candlestick. And I just did this everywhere. You could be more messy with it if you wanted. The picture showed some white paint throughout the middle of the candlesticks. I decided not to do that, but I'm just doing all of the little indents and curves of the candlestick, and that is all you're going to do for both of your candlesticks. You're going to follow this exact same process for your other one, and that is it for the candlestick DIYs. I think that these turned out really pretty, and I think that they look pretty dang close to the originals. For this DIY, I'm going to try and recreate this natural and black lattice welcome wall plaque. Obviously, this one is going to be a little bit smaller than the original one from Kirkland's. I'm going to start out with an 8x10 canvas from the Dollar Tree using a flathead screwdriver, and I'm just popping out all of those staples in the back, and I'm going to remove the canvas completely. Now I'm going to take some of this Edge Supply veneer that I have. I got this off of Amazon, and I'm going to use this to create the lattice in the background. So what I'm going to do is take 3 pieces that are the exact same length for the lengthwise of this canvas, and then I will do 5 pieces going widthwise for this canvas. Once I have all my pieces cut out, I'm just going to use my Waverly chalk paint ink to paint all 8 of these wood veneer strips. Now I'm going to take a ruler and try to center these as best as possible. I'm going to start with a middle piece going lengthwise, and I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to adhere the strips to the back of the canvas. Once I have that middle one done, then I'm going to use my ruler to mark where the middle is for each of those other 2 sections, and I'm going to use my other 2 strips and adhere those to the back of the canvas. Now I'm going to start going widthwise, and again, I just start in the middle, figure out where the middle is at, hot glue that down, and then I'm going to start filling in those gaps with the other 4 strips that I have, and I just tried to get these as even as I possibly could, just hot gluing those down in place. Now I'm going to take this welcome piece from Hobby Lobby. It was $1.49, and I'm going to use my white Waverly chalk paint to paint the entire thing. Once that paint is dry, I'm just going to add some hot glue on the back of the welcome, and I'm going to center that on my sign, and that is it for this DIY. I think this turned out really cute. Like I said, it is not as big as the original, but I still think it gets, the point across. It still looks like the original, just kind of in a minier version, and I think this one is really fun. For this DIY, I thought this Home Sweet Home sign was really, really pretty. Now, I'm not going to do the metal bar that is at the top, but the rest of the sign I wanted to try to replicate. So I'm going to grab one of these wooden boards from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm also going to use my wood veneer. Again, I'm just going to measure out from one side to the other, try to get that as close to the same length as I possibly can, and I'm going to cut 2 of those out at the exact same length. And then once those are cut out, then I'm going to measure between those 2 pieces on the ends. I'm going to cut out 1 for each end, and then I'm also going to cut out 2 for the inside of the sign. Now for the actual sign, I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in plaster, and I just gave that one good coat. I didn't worry about getting all the edges because that wood veneer will cover that up. For the wood veneer, I'm going to take my Waverly Wax and Antique and just use it just like you would a stain, rub it on, rub it off, and I'm going to use that for all of the wood veneer pieces. Now the back of this wood veneer has a glue to it that is activated when you heat it up. So I'm just placing my wood veneer right where I want it. Using my heat gun, I'm just going to heat that up, and it's going to activate the glue on the back. And I'm just going to press that down onto my sign to make sure that it's all nice and stuck down there. And I'm just going to do that for all my wood veneer pieces. You just heat it up on the front with your heat gun and then press it down. I always like to use a little finger protector from the Dollar Tree because this does get pretty hot. So just add your heat to it, push down, and then your wood veneer is stuck to your sign. And then for those 2 middle pieces, I did use a ruler to make sure that I got these as evenly spaced out as I could. And then I just activate it again with some heat and pushing that down onto my sign so it sticks to it. Now I'm going to go through and distress my sign because the original one did have some distressing on the wood. And I just took a chip brush and my plaster color and just went along all of those wood veneer pieces. Now I just used my CRICUT to cut out Home Sweet Home. I tried to find stickers or whatever else I could. I couldn't find anything. I didn't have anything in my stash that would work, so I decided to just cut these out with my CRICUT, and I'm just going to place the home and sweet and home on each of their own sections, trying to get them as even as I possibly can, and then peel up that transfer tape. And that's all you have to do for this DIY. I think that this was really, really easy, and I think it's absolutely adorable. This on a bigger scale, like the Kirklands one, where you have actual, thick wood, would be really cute. But if you're on a budget and want to make this really quick, this is a really fun way to recreate that Home Sweet Home sign. For this DIY, I thought that this wrapped rope hurricane candle holder was really, really cute, and I knew that I could recreate this with some Dollar Tree items. So I grabbed one of these vases from the Dollar Tree, and then I also grabbed 2 packs of nautical rope. You won't need the entire 2 packs, but just a little bit over. And I'm just going to start by hot gluing that rope to the bottom of that candle holder. I like to put the hot glue on the rope itself because when you put it on the glass, it seems to dry super fast. So that first time around, I added it to the rope itself, and then I'm just going to continue to glue and wrap around and around and around until I get to the point where I want to put those handles on. When you're ready to put your handles on, all you're going to do is measure out how long you want those handles to be and how far you want them to stick out. So once I had that measurement, I just went ahead and cut 2 pieces that were the exact same length. I'm going to add some hot glue to the ends of one side of the handle, and I'm just going to stick that down onto my vase. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the other side. You want to put these on where you still have enough room where you're going to continue to wrap your rope around. That way it hides a good portion of the bottom of your handles so you're not seeing those, cut off pieces from your handles, but you're just going to continue to wrap that rope around and around as you're going around those handles, and you're going to stop just maybe an inch or so from the top. And then to finish it off, I just measured enough to where the rope would stop at one of the handles so that it didn't look like it was stopping just, in a random place. It kind of blends in with the handle itself. You're just going to add some hot glue and then add your candle inside of your candle holder, and that is it for this one. Super, super easy, and this only cost me a little bit under $3. Now for this DIY, I'm going to make these Seafoam frosted bead garlands that I thought were adorable. So I'm going to grab some ping pong balls. Now I went to several different Dollar Trees and I could not find their ping pong balls anywhere. I don't know if they're just, you know, not carrying them anymore. I don't know what the deal is. So I went to Walmart and found these glow in the dark ping pong balls. They're a little bit more expensive than Dollar Trees. I believe they're like $1.30 something. So, I mean, not terribly more than what you'd get at the Dollar Tree. And I just picked up 2 packs of those, and I'm going to use my hot glue gun to put holes into each of these ping pong balls. I'm going to do 2 holes per ping pong ball, and I just use the heat from the tip of the hot glue gun to puncture some holes in there. Now I'm going to use this Rust-Oleum Seafoam glass spray paint that I have had in my stash for well over a year now, and so this came in handy for this DIY. I'm going to add all of my ping pong balls onto some skewer sticks to make this DIY a little bit easier and to spray paint it without a huge mess. I'm also going to take a big foam round and stick those skewer sticks down inside so that it has a way to stand up. Now I took these out to my garage and spray painted them. Now keep in mind that when you are using that Seafoam spray paint, that you really want to make sure you're doing light thin layers. I went a little heavy-handed and had some of it drip down the ping pong balls, so you can kind of see where some of them got a little drippy, but just make sure that you are doing really light, thin layers and coming back multiple times and spraying them. So do as I say, don't do as I do, and just make sure you are taking your time while spray painting them. So I'm going to take a piece of twine. I'm going to add one of my ping pong balls onto the twine, and then right after it, I'm going to tie about 5 knots all in one knot. So it's a big, nice, chunky knot, and you're going to do one of those knots in between each of your ping pong balls. So you'll add your ping pong ball. How many times am I going to say ping pong ball in this? And then you are going to do your knot right after. So like I said, I did 5 knots in between each of those balls, and you are just going to repeat that pattern until all of your balls are on your string. Once you're at the end, you are going to do the knots on each end like you did between all the other ping pong balls, and then you are just going to tie a loop to each end, and that is it for this DIY. Really, really cute, and I love the seafoam color of this, and this was only a couple bucks to make.
And that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your favorite project was in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!